Hello, and welcome back to Life Lessons with Sheila. I'm so glad you're here, and I appreciate your time. You could be watching any video, yet you clicked on mine. I hope this lends you the encouragement you've been seeking, and that you leave this video transformed and renewed. I hope this video comes across very demure and mindful. Just kidding. That trend is so silly, but you know, we have to follow the trends every now and then. But there is a funny quote I saw the other day that spurred this very devotional to be created. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Worry about why you're worried about what I'm doing. And that is the perfect prelude to today's devotional. Get ready to get in your feelings a bit. And I'm not trying to diminish your feelings by this devotional at all. I'm hoping to relate to you and to explain my heart to you on minding your own business, the pros, the cons, and the proverbial woman's approach. We're going to just get down right to it. 1 Thessalonians 4:11-12 tells us, make it your ambition to lead a quiet life. You should mind your own business and work with your hands, just as we told you, so that when your daily life may win the respect of outsiders, and so that you will not be dependent on anybody. That verse means so much to me, and it's very profound. And I love that it starts out strictly with make it your ambition to lead a quiet life. How many of us are living a quiet life? And how many of us are out here trying to show everything we're doing in life? I know I tend to show some of my life to you because I want to encourage that person who doesn't think they're capable of doing something notable and big. You are very capable. And then secondly, it says you should mind your own business and work with your hands. I don't know about you, but when I work with my hands, when I'm doing something with my hands, all my attention and focus is right there on my hands and what I'm doing. If I'm making a loaf of bread, say, yes, I'm kneading that dough, but as I'm kneading, my mind is going, I'm thinking. Often I'll write a devotional as I'm kneading dough for homemade bread. I've done that many, many times. Just as we told you, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders. It's the things you do daily. That means repetitive, routinely. The little everyday mundane things that people take for granted. Other people are watching you live those out. I post prayer videos in the morning and in the evening, and a verse in the day at lunchtime, and a devotional at 9 o'clock. It's like clockwork, except for the days that I take off. And I'm hoping that I can win the respect of outsiders by what I do daily, and that I don't need to be dependent on anybody. God wants you to be dependent on Him. Totally Him. And until you get to that point, you're going to always be dependent on someone else. I love how the Bible's very clear on minding your own business. Minding your own business means paying more attention to your own life and the things that concern you instead of getting involved with other people's lives and things that have nothing to do with you or should concern you. However, it's not about pushing people away, completely tuning out the world and living in a bubble. Minding your own business is about knowing when it's best to not get involved in other people's dramas. Are you good at that, or are you in the middle of it? I used to be in the middle of it all the time. I used to find entertainment by watching other people's drama, kind of like a reality TV shows. How many of those have you spent hours watching, hours investing your time into? Hours that you could have been devoting to something more fruitful in your life. I know I've done it too many times myself. Proverbs 26:17 tells us, like one who grabs a stray dog by the ears is someone who rushes into a quarrel not their own. Have you ever grabbed a stray dog? Have you ever tried to get a hold of a stray dog? You don't know what that dog's temperament is. If you grab one that's got a terrible temperament, you're going to get bit. You're going to get bit if you jump into a quarrel that's not your own. That means get out of people's business. Let them deal with their own fights. You got to love the wisdom found in Proverbs. It doesn't play or try to hold your feelings in regards to the truth it wants you to convey to you in your daily walk. Here's another one that caught my attention. Proverbs 20:19. A gossip betrays a confidence, so avoid anyone who talks too much. Ooh. That one kind of hurts because I'm a talker and I could talk your ear off. But I also know when to shut up and when to hold my tongue. It's taken me some time, but I've learned through the years that sometimes it's better to hold your tongue than to let loose. Loose lips sink ships. That's very true. In our daily lives, it's easy to become entangled in the affairs of others, often out of a desire to help or to stay informed. However, the Bible teaches us that there is wisdom in minding our own business. This principle, while seemingly simple, holds profound implications for our spiritual and emotional well-being. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of minding our own business. These are the pros. First is peace of mind. By focusing on our own lives and responsibilities, we protect our peace and avoid unnecessary stress. When we refrain from meddling in the affairs of others, we are less likely to be drawn into conflicts or drama that do not concern us. Secondly, respect from others. As Paul writes in 1 Thessalonians, leading a quiet life and minding our own business earns the respect of others. It demonstrates maturity, wisdom, self-control, qualities that are admirable and worthy of emulation. Third is spiritual growth. When we concentrate on our own spiritual journey, we're more attuned to the voice of God in our lives. We become more aware of our own shortcomings and are better positioned to seek His guidance and correction. Fourth, avoiding sin. By staying out of others' affairs, we avoid the sins of gossip, slander, and judgment. Proverbs 20:19 warns us about the dangers of associating with those who gossip, as it can lead us down a path of betrayal and broken trust. And lastly, your last pro is healthy boundaries. Minding your own business helps us establish and maintain healthy boundaries. It allows us to be compassionate and supportive without overstepping into areas that are not ours to control. Now for the cons. Yep, I've got 5 cons for you. First is missed opportunities to help. There are times when God calls us to intervene in the lives of others. If we're too focused on minding our own business, we may miss opportunities to provide support, encouragement, or correction when needed. Second is isolation. While keeping to ourselves can protect our peace, it can also lead to isolation. If taken to extreme, we are called to live in a community with others, and part of that involves being present in the lives in a meaningful way. Third, perceived indifference. Others may perceive our decision to mind our own business as indifference or lack of care. This can strain relationships and create misunderstandings. Fourth is lack of influence. By always staying out of others' affairs, we may miss opportunities to be a positive influence in their lives. There is a balance between minding our own business and being an active participant in the lives of those we care about. And lastly, overlooked responsibilities. In some cases, we may have a responsibility to get involved, such as when we witness wrongdoing or when someone is in need. Ignoring these responsibilities under the guise of minding our own business can be harmful. I have 5 tips to remove yourself from others' affairs. First, evaluate your intentions. Before getting involved in someone else's business, ask yourself why you feel the need to intervene. Are you genuinely concerned? Are you driven by curiosity, or maybe a desire to control the situation? Secondly, pray for guidance. Seek God's wisdom before taking any action. Ask Him to reveal whether your involvement is necessary or if it's better to step back and let Him work on the situation. Third, set boundaries. Clearly define your role in the lives of others. Establish boundaries that allow you to be supportive without overstepping into areas that are not yours to manage. Fourth, focus on your own growth. Channel your energy into your own spiritual, emotional, and personal development. The more you grow, the less likely you are to be drawn into unnecessary drama. And lastly, learn to say no. It's okay to decline involvement in matters that don't concern you. Politely but firmly excuse yourself from conversations or situations that don't align with your values or responsibilities. The proverbial woman's approach. I love Proverbs 31. The Proverbs 31 woman is a model of wisdom, diligence, and strength. How would she handle situations involving gossip, slander, and division among friends? First, she would have discernment. The proverbial woman would first use discernment to assess a situation. Proverbs 31:26 tells us, "She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue." She would carefully consider whether her involvement would bring about peace or further division. Second would be silence. In many cases, the wisest course of action is to remain silent. Proverbs 17:28 reminds us, "Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues." The proverbial woman knows the power of silence in diffusing tension and avoiding sin. Thirdly, prayer. She would pray for those involved, asking God to guide them towards reconciliation and truth. She understands that her role is not always to intervene, but to support through prayer. Fourth, encouragement. If she does choose to speak, it would be to encourage unity and understanding, not to take sides or spread rumors. Her words would be carefully chosen to build up rather than tear down. And lastly, avoidance of gossip. Proverbs 31:27 tells us, "She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness." She's too busy fulfilling her responsibilities to engage in idle gossip. Instead, she focuses on the well-being of her family and community through positive actions. Minding our own business is not just about avoiding conflict. It's about cultivating a life of peace, respect, and spiritual growth. While there are times when we are called to get involved in the lives of others, we must do so with wisdom, discernment, and a heart aligned with God's will. By following the example of the proverbial woman and the teachings of Scripture, we can navigate the delicate balance of involvement and detachment in a way that honors God and fosters healthy relationships. The best way to keep good intentions from turning into gossip is to mind your own business. That was said by Unknown. As we go about our daily lives, let us strive together to focus on our own spiritual journeys, supporting others in a way that is constructive and respectful, and above all, seek God's guidance in our interactions. So the next time you feel compelled to get involved in someone else's drama, think twice. Think at it from the perspective of the proverbial woman and how God would want you to handle the situation. We'll talk again in the next video. Have a fantastic Friday. Bye.